Hello and welcome to Audio Adventures. This is a D&D 5th edition podcast that is made by friends, with friends, and for friends. And if you clicked on us, buckle up. It's going to be a crazy magic carpet ride for you and me. This podcast is used by my nerdy friends and I to escape our lives for a time and act out some pretty ridiculous scenarios. And we are so glad to have you here. A couple things before we start. Our group loves the rule of cool, so I'm sure we will get rules wrong. So if we do, please feel free to tell us in a kind fashion down in the comments. Also, if you want to contribute to the fantastical world of Seblos where this campaign takes place, please make a comment and you may be seeing that kobold cleric in the very near future, along with your name in the show as well. Now, please grab a seat and some popcorn, and let's meet our Wandering Vanguard. Audio Adventures is a D&D 5th edition homebrewed podcast and may deal with triggering themes at times. Viewer discretion is advised. Trigger warnings can be found in the description. Last time on Audio Adventures, our wandering heroes narrowly avoided capture from the Goliath tribe in the wilds outside of Estreeston after rescuing Fellery Sieg, an old man they knew from their time in Avada. Throwing themselves into a portal, they find themselves in the city of Astrazelia, a city unlike they've ever seen. And immediately, finding a person of interest, one of them has been searching for this whole time. That is where we begin.
As you all step through the portal, your eyes were met with an interesting scene. A very modern Feywild. Almost kind of like New York or Chicago. And you stepped out in the center of a large park. And as you looked up, with all of the marketing billboards floating around magically all around you, and all of the elven people not taking notice of you, talking on emerald gemstones, and having several crests imprinted on their palms everywhere. Tyrrell, as he steps through and looks up, sees a statue. A golden statue that is in the shape of his father, whom he hasn't seen in several years. Since he was 8 years old, in fact. Standing there, in a large suit, with a microphone in hand, gesturing out to a supposed looking crowd. And all of you begin standing in the middle of this very large park, in the middle of this very large city. Welcome to the Feywild. Welcome to the city of Australia. We're gonna go with that.
We're in Australia now?
What is it? Astrazelia?
Astrazelia, I think that.
Astrazelia. And if all of you can give me a perception check.
Perception?
Yes.
18.
22.
22 for red. No, 22 for red guest. 6.
Toom just sticks his thumb in his eyes.
And Zach, what'd you get?
I'll roll for him. I bet it was lower than what I got.
Okay. The DC wasn't very high for this. But Toom, it takes you a second to notice a large magically enhanced voice coming from around. You'd hear an elven woman talking very loud all over to your right. And as all of you turn to look, you recognize a similar sort of spell from the beginning of the campaign that the King of Avada was using to sort of talk to all of his people. But this is a larger scale. And you see 2 elven women on the screen. One of them Her hair is blue, and it falls just below her chin. Sharp features, and wearing a blue dress with blue eyes. And the one on the right is red, with red hair, also cut down, like, right at below her chin, wearing a red dress and red eyes. But you look over and you see this on the screen, and they both say, at the same time, in unison, "Hello! Welcome to Scrynet, the Feywild's leading entertainment business." And Tibble, you see in the shadows of this, in the back of the screen, a familiar figure walk up into the light of your father, and dressed in a purple suit. In a very familiar deep voice, "Hello! And at Scrynet, our leading show is mine. Darrow's most dangerous, dramatic, and daring death course. We need contestants. We need you. Come to us, and you might win." And he pulls up his hand, and on his right hand is an illusion that pops up of the golden snapdragon. And it looks sort of like a strawberry, like a golden strawberry with red dots. And then the vine that comes up comes and then opens to look like a dragon's maw with red little like tendrils coming out. And you can recognize this sort of form from sketches in your father's journal that he left behind. He says, "And you might have the chance to win this. But think before you leap." And then behind him are several just shots of contestants falling off cliffs, screaming, getting stabbed, and right before they actually get stabbed, you hear the sound, but the shot isn't shown. "We need you." And then comes up again, Darrow's most dangerous, dramatic, and daring death course.
So it's like a gladiator thing.
At the bottom, it says, as a small little, like, infomercial, says, "Scrynet takes no responsibility in any death resulted in any way due to the game show. Play with responsibility. If death does occur, items left over will be taken and sold for Scrynet's profit. Scrynet has the right to terminate any contestant at any time." And it goes to the next ad.
Well, found him.
We should enter that. Or some of you should enter that. Either way.
I really want to enter. I'll enter too if Tibble does.
I'm entering. I don't care. I don't care what you guys do. I gotta win that. Whether saving my.
We'll do it together, Peter.
We'll do it as a team.
But where do we go?
Well, why don't we all stay at my place?
I forgot that.
Sure. Yeah. If I'm assuming you're talking about with your parents, if they're all right with it, or if you have a place, it's like, as long as you have the space, sure.
Oh, they'll be all right with it. And I'm sure we could find some space.
Awesome. Hey, before we go, is there a plaque on the statue?
Yeah, you turn around and you want to read it. There is a bronze plaque.
I do want to read the bronze plaque.
You turn around, it says, not Tibble, that's your name.
That's me. I's Tibble. Tibble.
Let me get my name.
Also, I did have a question. Why is most in parentheses?
What?
That is a great question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Was that an accident?
Nope.
What's the plaque say?
It says Almondero, the best announcer for Scrynet. That's it.
I kind of sense a Matrix vibe.
That's fair. Well, need to figure out what's happening here, but I don't think it's the right time to approach him yet. So, but yeah, I need to enter that contest.
Is Virgil still hanging on my back?
No, Virgil has stepped out and he is next to Thelry on the bench and is just kind of like touching him every so often. You see green glow come from his index finger. He's like, "Do you feel better yet?" And Thelry is like, "Hold on." And then he like pokes him and it's like, "Oh, a little bit. Thank you."
That's so adorable.
Do I hear him?
He's not trying to hide.
Is he? As soon as I hear his voice, I'm going to be like, Virgil?
Hey, what's up?
Really? You put yourself in danger like that?
You guys put yourself in danger all the time. And he kind of like puts his hands up like a oops, oh well movement.
I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to just start walking. Where are we going, Tavis?
Well, how about we go this way? And I point in the direction that my home
So
is
you
at.
would know this pretty well. It has changed a little bit, but not very much at all since you left. You know that you are like in the center of the city. To the north would be like sort of like the nicer city and business and stuff. And you know that your town is to the south of this town, past the flea market. So you all start walking to the south, and all of you again just see several elven individuals just walking, most of them with their heads down or just very into what they're doing. And they all seem to have, not all of them, but a lot of them seem to have a similar looking crest on various different parts of their body, which you had seen before is a circular shape with several different lines coming off of it and a circle at the other end of the lines.
What's that again?
So the emblem in the middle of Scrynet that I sent you, it's that.
Oh. Wait, with the beholder in it?
Who's to say?
If your characters know it's a beholder, who's to say?
Can I roll for history?
Yeah, you can roll if you want to know if it's a beholder.
Okay, give me a second. Unnatural 20.
Dang, girl.
Nice. Yeah, you would know. Yeah, that looks very much like a beholder, even though he is grayed out and it is an outline. The beholder, for what your knowledge is of the taboo and everything of necromancy, kind of leans over in the direction of knowing about beholders. They're really big. Usually when they're around, it's not great.
No.
If they're known to be around. So.
We should get an emblem.
Yeah, we should.
I was just reading the sign and I was like, wait a minute. Wipeout. Of death.
Exactly, actually. Yeah, and as all of you continue walking through, as you're walking and you're getting further and further away from the main strip of Astrazelia, you heard of Darrow's Most Dangerous Death Course, and then you hear Beauties in the Eye of Fashion Critique. Names being flown around. Then you hear The Scrying Hour, Seems to be a news channel. And then just several other different shows in the very distant vicinity seeming to be marketed for as you are walking. Is there anything you'd like to do before you get there?
Is there any shops that might have paint?
Yeah, so you see, as you're walking along through the flea market, there are several stalls that look interesting. The paint looks a little cracked and a little too old to be used, though. And with your perception checks from before, people are starting to notice you over here.
Oh, I bet.
All of you start to see some gazes, kind of like turn your way and stay on you, and just watch you walk through.
I'm used to that.
But even the elven folk, for some reason.
Oh, like even staring at them?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Your entire group. And you decide that...
I mean, we kind of stick out. Tavis isn't really wearing any pants.
Yeah, Tavis's clothing is all wrecked from the hag fight.
What? Oh, no.
And he's free-balling.
There was like 3 fireballs.
I mean,
Oh my gosh. Dude, I could have mended that for you. Probably.
yeah.
Oh no.
Free flowing.
I mean, out of character. It kind of just was escaping my mind, and I was like, all right, once we sit down, I'll like just take care of that. And then we kept doing stuff, and then I forgot, and then I was like, oh no, wait.
I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah, you look kind of singed. And that could be the reason why people are looking at you.
Yeah.
You're not sure if that's the reason.
Yeah, like what are their expressions? Are they like looking at us and like, oh wow, that's cool, or more like, who are they? Like, why are they here? Like, what are they doing here? Type of thing.
Roll insight.
Can I insight? Can I do it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what's insight? Intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it wisdom? I was pretty sure it was wisdom.
No, it is wisdom. You're right.
I rolled a 19.
Nice.
I rolled a 24.
Oh, whoa.
Nice.
I am human lie half elf lie detector, insight detector.
That's why you're mom.
Yep, that's why I'm mom.
I heard some dice roll. Zach, where are you rolling? Cool. 21?
21?
Yeah.
21? Yeah, so all in Red Guest, with this check, you would understand too, because I'm just gonna count it as a group one at that point.
Fair.
Whoa.
You all kind of recognize that this isn't just your group is you have a really young child, a really old man, a Goliath, a tiefling, a warforged, 2 elven folk, and a tabaxi, and a changeling. All of these don't really mix that well together. But you kind of have a feeling that it's not necessarily like, what are those type doing here? It's, what are they doing here? Like, there's a spark of recognition in their eyes.
Fair enough.
I think you stand out, Tibro.
That's fair. I was gonna say our Warforged friend, but you know, understandable.
Oh, that makes more sense.
How much farther do we have to go, Tavis?
You would know you're a couple minutes away.
Oh, just about a couple minutes.
Okay. Also, do you know of any libraries nearby?
Maybe 1 or 2, but things have kind of changed around here.
That's fair.
So I'd have to ask if the ones that I know of are still around.
That's fair.
You would know that there's a place of higher learning here, and a library that is attached to it that the public may use. Yep.
Okay. Well, I know of a public library that we could use if need be.
Awesome.
But I think we should all head and rest for a little bit.
Fair enough.
So, Tomb, your look for the paints in the flea market doesn't lead any sort of like lead to where, but you end up writing down in your notebook to one of a shady looking elf in a tent that has very rusted looking antiques that don't look to be his for sale, and with his mismatched shaven head, and he looks at you and he's like, "Oh, you could go over to Venry's," and he points you down in the direction you're already going.
How do you spell that?
Venrie.
Okay.
Venry.
I nod at him like in thanks.
No problem. You want? I have a lamp, and he picks up a rusted-looking lamp. It is circa 230. It is so rare to have here. It's usually in the material plane, but you don't really see anything like this nowadays. What do you say? 10 gold? And he holds it up to you.
I kind of like tilt my head because I feel like I kind of understand what he's saying, but then I look at the lamp and I'm like, I don't need that, and so I just shake my head no.
Oh.
Well, while Tim's doing this, are we still walking? Or did we stop?
Tomb stopped.
Yeah, I assume that I stopped, but you guys probably didn't.
You and Tavis probably kept going. Probably Fellery and Virgil hung back. Ekman's up with you. Red Guest, you can choose either one.
I'll go with Tavis and Tibril.
So, Tomb is with the NPCs. Rest of the party keeps going.
Is there anything else in his tent that looks interesting?
You take a look around. You see, like, there's like that lamp. It looks to be like a gas lit lamp. There are several other just different sort of rusted pieces from who knows where. Dented, rusted, hollowed out. But as you're scanning, you see a sort of like metal gauntlet.
Can I go and investigate it?
Yep. You can go in. And he's like, "Oh, I piqued your interest. Very good." And he puts down the lamp with a loud crash behind you. You see, he says, you have very good, lighted eyes, friend. Great, great. As you approach this hand, he's coming up behind you. When you pick up this gauntlet, it doesn't look rusted at all. It looks to be like actually the nicest thing in this shoddy tent with this weird elf. And you pick it up and it looks very similar in size to your arm that you still have originally. You see, I got that one day from a very good friend of mine. They say it brings you really good luck.
So is it a gauntlet or is it like a literal Warforged hand?
You can roll a...
Would that be insight? Or investigation?
I would count it as investigation.
Oh. That's not bad. 14?
14? Yeah, you would know that this is... It looks a lot like one of your hands. But it looks like it was hollowed out to be a gauntlet for someone. And he kind of like tilted to the inside, and it looks like the insides were padded with like cloth and material. So a person of organic nature could probably fit their hand on the inside and work it comfortably without it, pinching skin.
I pull out my notebook and I start writing in it, and I show it to him and I ask him, "Where did you get this?"
Oh, I have my sources. I could tell you, maybe, if you bought the item. What do you say?
I don't know how much money I have. I write in my notebook, how much is it?
Oh, I'd be willing to let it part with it for 20 gold. You see, good luck isn't cheap these days. I mean, look around. And he points to all of the rust. It's a shame I'm even letting it go now.
I guess Tomb wouldn't really know concept of money, so he probably would say yes. But he'd probably ask. Yeah, I'd write in my notebook and I'd say, "I'll give you 20 for the gauntlet and the information of who gave it to you."
Businessman, I see. All right, hand it over.
Okay, give him 20 gold.
He counts through it, and as you hand him each coin, he kind of puts it in his mouth, and you hear a little scratching sound as it grinds against his teeth, and he's like,
Yeah.
Very nice.
I tilt my head because I'm like, I don't understand what that means.
All right. Looks like you're not messing with me. And just every coin, he just checks to see if it's real in his backward way, and there's a tooth dent in every coin.
20 minutes later.
Yeah. He's like, all right. You got yourself some luck, and I got me some coinage. I got my, and he looks around conspiratorially. Lean in a little closer.
I lean in.
Now I can't say much, because I can't go leaking all my sources all about. It's bad business, you hear?
I nod.
But my contact's name, by Winnis.
How do you spell it?
Biwenys. By Winnis. And he leans back and he's like, "That's all I can tell you, fam. That's all I can tell you."
I nod. And thanks, I guess.
Not a problem, my friend. Come back if you want some more of my fine products. And he smiles and his yellowed teeth show through finally. One of them is cracked in half.
Then I put the arm in my bag of holding, and then I walk out of the tent.
Cool.
I assume followed by Virgil and Valerie.
Yeah, Valerie held Virgil back from going inside the tent. And they're just waiting for you on the outside. Valerie, by the way, only has pants on that are barely holding on.
Could I
he was stripped of everything in the tent. So everyone's looking at him like, what is this hobo doing here?
Do I still have the sash around my body?
I think you said you took it off at one point, but you still have
What did I do with it?
I think you put it in your
I
bag.
gave it to Talon to put the head in the lake.
Never mind, it's gone. I forgot about
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Darn it. I don't think I have anything to help him hold up his pants.
He's holding them up with one hand and holding Virgil with the other.
Okay. I'd probably also put my hand out for Virgil to take it so that we're both holding him so that we don't lose him.
You both are pulling up his pants? What?
No. Holding Virgil's hand.
Oh. I was like, okay, Virgil, hold on to this nice man's pants. Let's go.
No.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I thank you for the thought, but it's too hard.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, so, Feller is like, yeah, alright, Virgil. And he's like, guys, I'm, like, 13. I can take care of myself. And Thellery's like, I don't care. I don't want to talk to whoever's parent you have about losing you in a crowd of elven folk. No. Hold my hand. He's like, fine. But yeah, before you put the gauntlet into your bag, you notice that it is sterling silver, and the edges of the parts that would go before, like, so like the gauntlet edges before like knuckles and everything are sort of like filigreed gold.
Okay.
Around the entire design, sort of like silver in the middle, gold on the outside.
Do I see any green on it? Like mine?
No.
Okay. That's kind of hopefully a good sign. Oh, I should have checked all the other Warforged if they had green. I actually can't remember if I did that or not.
Yeah, but you guys hold Virgil's hand and you go throughout the rest of the market. And as you continue down through the flea market, you come onto like a sort of more dirt paved road, as you sense that you're entering more into like sort of like a country-esque feeling of the city that is less urbanized, modernized. And as you're walking along this path, you see vaguely ahead of you in the distance the back end of your group that has just walked past. Actually, if you guys walk past, actually, I don't know if you walk past. So the front part of your group, you guys all see as you're walking along this side road. Tavis, you noticed this first because this is new to you, but it looks old. You see a large wooden cabin with stained glass windows and just antiques laying strewn about in the front yard of the grass that is leading up to this 2-story wooden shack on the left side of the path.
That's new. Do any of you want to go there?
Really?
Yeah.
It seems old. Well, we should probably get back to your place first. Drop our stuff off at least.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Please tell me one of you notices that half your group is missing.
I notice.
I know.
I'd assume Red Guest would be the one who would notice.
Can I roll to see if I notice that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be 18.
7. No.
Tibril, you're upset.
I'm in a mood.
You have several years not seeing your father, and you see him, and you're just thinking about the look that he gave everyone on the screen. A very self-assured, but very alien look. that you've never seen him make at anyone else. And that thought is just filling your head, and that's the reason you don't notice that most of your group is gone. But Tavis, you're like, that's new, and then you start to look around. Wait, everyone's gone.
Priceless. Typical too. Stop it for me.
Everyone's gone?
Everyone that was mentioned before.
Okay.
Virgil,
Tomb,
Thalry,
Virgil, and Thellery are gone. Ekman,
Okay.
Redguest is behind you, so about half of your group is just...
Where's Beliana?
Beliana is right next to Ekman.
Okay.
She's been looking around this entire time, just aghast, not able to say anything.
Fair.
Well, looks like we lost some people.
What do you mean?
Tomb, Virgil, and... crap, who is the other
Thellery.
person? Thellery. They aren't with us anymore. Did anybody see them leave?
Oh no.
Beliana turns around. Oh, that's not good. It's not good to be in an unfamiliar place and lose your friends. We should go back. And she starts to turn around and going.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to spend 4 focus points. I'm going to send a message. I'm going to send it to Tomb. So Tomb, in your head, you hear, Tomb, where did you go? We are just straight down from where we came from.
I hear the message in my head. And I kind of look around to see if I can see them. Do you want me to roll perception?
No, because I already told you they're in
Oh,
front
that's
of you.
right.
So
Okay.
you have full eye contact of they're off in the distance down the path. So you see them, but as they look back, they're seeing like everything else and not you.
Okay. The way this works, Turbo, can I send a message back?
You can respond. You can respond. You can respond to this message.
I respond and tell him that I say I see you. You're Is it like quite a ways or like a couple?
You were
Like-
meandering around that shop for actually quite a bit talking to that man, and the way Tomb thinks it's like 5 minutes sometimes with how he mulls around his brain and stares at people. So
Yep.
they were meandering walking, but they made it quite a way before
Okay.
you were able to wrangle and pay and get everything out and take Virgil.
Okay. Yeah, so I just say I see you guys up ahead. Do I see the antique shack?
You would look up and you would see looking like peeking out of the sort of like clearing that it's sitting in is the front of a large wooden shack.
Okay, then I would say I see them and then I see a large wooden shack.
Well, they see us.
Oh.
I'm just going to stick my arm up and start doing like the wave towards us type thing. Because I'm out of focus points.
You see Tebril off in the distance just stick up his arms and do like the car dealership wave like out in front.
Yeah, I do this type of thing. Like, wait, come on, come over this way. But I don't know which way they're...
The car dealership wave, but more controlled.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, I'd probably...
Ekman looks back. We're over here! Hello!
Yeah, I'd say we see them and we just walk towards them.
Cool. You guys meet back up, and you are standing in front of this large shack where, with the directions that weird elven person you bought the gauntlet from seems to be directing you there, to Vernie's.
Bernie's.
Vinry's. To Vinry's, or the path that Tavis is going to continue walking on. But you guys meet back up.
Awesome. Awesome. We did it. We survived the city. Well, almost.
You won D&D.
We won D&D.
We did it. It's over.
That's it. That's the game.
Thank you for joining us on Audio Adventures.
Well, I guess we continue forward.
Yes.
Is there anything interesting at that shop?
You look over at the shop, and it is the description, as I've said before, a large 2-story wooden shack with stained glass windows in every window, and just a large amount of copious, antiquing, rusting-looking items. Not crap from the other shack, but these look to be like sort of like American pickers, sort of antiques in the front of the yard.
Is there like an open or close sign anywhere?
The door is closed, but you see movement past the stained window on the inside.
Okay. Can I walk up to the door?
Tomb, where are you going?
I stop and I start writing in my book to show Cjbeards, and I just say, I'm looking for something, and I think this might be a way for me to find it.
I'm gonna make a psionic link with him. What you looking for?
I pull out the gauntlet out of my bag of holding, and I put it up next to my original arm.
Interesting. Huh. Should look at that.
Quite intriguing.
Well, would you be okay if we came back here after we drop our stuff off? Apparently we're pretty close to Tavis's place.
I nod in agreement.
You hear a small, like, ah, from Virgil.
No response from Cjbeards. Cjbeards gonna give him the cold shoulder. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed thing.
He does not notice.
Well, fair enough. How close are we, Tavis?
Not too far.
Cool. Well, let's find a place to sit. I'm tired.
All right.
All of you continue along this not bad dirt path. It is well maintained, and you continue into what seems to be sort of like what might have been old Astrazelia. Like, this seems to be like a more of an older part of town where people like don't like the modernization and sort of kept the way things were historically before they changed. And Tavis, you recognize this as more of what you recognize of your home. And as you're walking, the path kind of splits around a large tree that you recognize from your childhood.
Ooh. I look back and I look at everyone and I go like, guys, this is the best tree ever.
I look at the tree. Do I recognize the kind of tree it is?
What is that tree that that is the redwood because of the way it is, or what is that tree?
Aspen. It's an aspen tree.
Let me look up aspen trees.
Come on, you have an herbologist in the group. He's gonna ask what kind of tree it is.
Well, doesn't mean I can't Google it.
That's fair. I want the lineage of this tree. Not really.
All right, you see a very large trunked aspen trees are like white barked. On the outside with like the bark breaking in several places to see black underneath as it goes up. But this aspen tree seems to be almost perfectly suited for climbing. The way the bark breaks in some points seem to be like very nice footholds. And as it's just a very large trunked aspen tree compared. And it is shorter, so the amount that you have to climb before you get to like a little seat
Ooh.
is less. But you look up and you see an aspen tree because of the way it is.
I mean, it looks like a good tree. It looks like a nice aspen tree.
Yeah. I just used to climb it a lot when I was a kid.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. That's about as special as it'll get, though.
Fair.
Why don't we keep walking?
Sounds good.
You guys part around the aspen tree on separate sides, and you continue your way in, and you notice as you get into like the old Astrazelia downtown that some of the buildings actually have upgraded, but not only a couple. And as you're going through the smaller streets of this older Astrazelia, you notice your mother and father's shops. Would you care to explain what they look like?
So, right across the street from each other, there is a kind of half florist, half herbalist shop. It's kind of got a cozy feel to it. Like there are flowers up front everywhere, and herbs hanging around inside. And across the way there is Tavis's father's blacksmith shop, which just has various kinds of shields and stuff hanging out front, and just kind of smoke coming out from the chimney up top of the building.
Tavis, or Zach, out of character. Did Tyrrell and your mom become best friends?
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Yeah, but you see at Tavis's mother's shop that he pointed to, you see a small sign that is the iron is delicately sort of curled to come out, and the sign hangs down, and it says in a very nice calligraphy font that is in cursive, the crystal vase.
It's pretty.
And then across the way, you see in a much just like in the front, like an iron plate in the front of the shop next to the door is just Tyrion's blacksmithy.
Well, Tavis is going to start walking towards his mom's shop first.
Wait, we're going into the flower shop first?
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
You all start walking into this very nice, very quaint and home-like shop. And as you enter in, you get the scent of lavender immediately as it hits your nose, and honey. And you see flowers off to the side strewn all about, and very nice crystal vases as par with the name. A very nice sort of oak looking counter and about of the middle of the room, and cabinets behind that, and then a door behind the counter. You don't see anyone in here, but it really does trigger your nostalgia as you walk in.
I'm gonna walk a little bit in. I'm gonna sniff some of the flowers. And then I'm gonna do a perception check.
While he does that, I'm gonna pull Ekman off to the, a bunch of flowers and just start telling him about every single flower that's there.
He joins you and he's like, he looks like he's like, like he's
Like he does.
enjoying your enjoyment. And he
It's
makes
still-
comments every so often like, that is a very pretty flower.
And then whenever he says that, I'm going to be telling him all the uses you can use it in potions and different medicines.
And he's like, very nice. You guys continue on.
Mm-hmm.
22 for your perception. Around the time of day is sort of a little weird here. You know that you guys have made it probably towards the end of her hours. Around the time that she'd probably be in the back, making some some orders for some of her friends or customers that come in, making some more vases, getting ready for the next day so she doesn't have to get up as early as she would need to if she didn't do it the day before. So you could probably guess that she's in the back room.
Is there like a little bell on the front counter that I can ring?
Yeah, there's a very similar sort of like curled iron suspended bell that you can just like put your finger up against. That from past would just like ding 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 if you did that.
Okay. Tavis is gonna go up to it and just start ringing it a bunch. Like ding.
All right. After the first ring, she's like, you hear a very soft melodic voice answer from the back of the room. Oh, hello. Hold on. And you hear as rustling from the back, and then something crashes to the floor, and she's like, oh no. And several moments later, you see a short elven woman, very small frame, with light blue shirt that have sleeves that are tied back, that she's untying to hang down, sort of like batwing sleeves, and loose-fitting black pants that are running down. Her silver hair runs down. It is tied back to about her middle back, and you see her yellow witch hazel eyes that are squinted with annoyance. And then, as she rushes out, she says, "Whatever do you..." And she stops. Tavis?
Mom! I'm gonna run and hug her.
And that was this episode of Audio Adventures. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, please share to get out the word so we can share our story with you and keep doing what we're doing. If you have an idea for an NPC, a shop, or even an encounter, please comment down below. You might be seeing any of those in the next session or maybe even the upcoming sessions. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week. Please stay safe, everyone, and wear those seatbelts.